My name is Chauncey Leggett. I've been a member of Howard Memorial for probably close to 60 years. Looking back on where I started here and where I am now, it goes back to the days of growing up in a large family, a family of 6, and my mother ended up having all the Sunday school clothes in our car so we wouldn't have excuses on why we couldn't come because we couldn't find this or that. But it was during those years that it was not an option, that we were supposed to come to Sunday school, and that's what we did. Peggy Rogers Leggett is my mother's name. She's been always active, especially starting out with the children. I think she practiced on us 6 kids of her own first, and then she branched out into the Sunday school and volunteering for different functions throughout the church. As I got older and left and went off to school, I sort of did my 40 years in the wilderness, although it wasn't 40 years, but I would come back obviously for the special holidays of Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter. But it wasn't until I came back and married my wife Tammy, who grew up in Tarboro, and we had kids. I started getting more involved to show them through actions that where we needed to be. During that time, Mother graduated from dealing with smaller kids to eventually older kids, speaking of adults, because we're all children of God, and we all are pushed in places sometimes that it's uncomfortable, but we know in our hearts we should be there. And as I watched my mother struggle with that, I learned a lot from her. Moving from Sunday school to being on the session, to being the clerk, president of the women's club, all of the functions, Bible studies. And so I watched her grow, really not knowing exactly some of the things I was seeing until later in life, because she had a burning desire to spread the word of God. And she enrolled in a lay pastor's course, which I think may have been one of the first in the presbytery, and she was very intimidated at first because she told me that she was the only housewife there. Her fellow students were doctors and lawyers, and but she got over that and graduated from that. So she's a commissioned lay pastor, and I'm just still sitting in the wings watching and seeing how the situation she gets herself in are so uncomfortable, but yet she still does it. And I asked her one day, why do you put yourself in such an awkward situations? Because when she would prepare for a sermon or getting up in front of people or whatnot, she would literally not eat, drink a little water, but that was about it. But she would tell me that the burning desire that she had in her heart was 10 times more than the awkwardness of standing up and being a leader. And that sort of stuck with me. Mother always said, there's more to church than just coming to church and then leaving. Try Sunday school. Well, reluctantly, I finally started Sunday school, and it opened up a whole new door of fellowship, of being able to really get to know the members of the church, which is so special. So by being more and participating into things besides just coming to church for an hour, evidently people noticed. And one day I get a phone call from Cindy Britton, a friend of mine, and asked if I would consider serving on the session. And I thought, totally not qualified. But listening to the Lord and praying about it, I said yes. I laugh at myself because I realized that God does use some of the strangest people to get his word across. And he's always been consistent, and now I'm one of them too. When you come in this sanctuary, for me, it's like coming back to home. It's a special place with a special family. And when you become more involved in the daily activities, it just grows exponentially. You know, if you give a little bit more of your time, or a little bit more of your resources, it'll come back to you tenfold. And it's truly been a blessing to be a part of Howard Memorial and to be able to worship with the people that you have developed relationships with over a lifetime. And if you've not been to Howard Memorial, I would highly recommend coming and visit. And I promise you, you will feel better as you leave than you did when you walk in. It works that way. We are a welcoming church. And I think we get that from the ones that have walked before us.